The crash woke me up at 6 a.m. I ran to the window and saw her. My neighbor Karen, standing next to my broken fence with a sledgehammer in her hand. She wasn't even hiding it. She looked straight at my house and smiled. I rushed outside. "What are you doing?" She dropped the hammer on the grass like it was nothing. "Making a path. I'm tired of walking around your stupid fence every time I go to the park." "That's my fence. On my property." "Wrong." She pulled out her phone and showed me some document. "This land between our houses? It's community easement." I checked with the HOA. "You can't block public access." I stared at the paper. It looked official. Stamps, signatures, everything. But something felt off. "There's no HOA in this neighborhood," I said. "There is now." She crossed her arms. "I filed the paperwork last month. We're part of the Greenview Community Association. And as the acting president, I'm informing you that this fence violates Code 14B, obstruction of shared pathways. You can't just create an HOA. Already did. And if you rebuild this fence, I'll have it torn down again. Legally." She turned and started walking back to her house through the gap she'd made in my fence. I stood there, watching her go. My hands were shaking. Not from anger. From something else. Because Karen didn't know who she was messing with. See, I'm a land surveyor. Have been for 23 years. And the first thing I learned in this job: never assume you know where property lines are. Always check. I went back inside and called my office. "Hey, Marcus. I need the county records for 1847 Maple Street. Everything. Deeds, surveys, easements, the whole file." "That's your address, man. What's going on?" "Just send it. Fast." 2 hours later, I was sitting at my kitchen table with documents spread everywhere. Property deeds from 1960. Survey maps from 1982. Zoning records. Tax assessments. I went through every single page. Then I found it. The lot line didn't run where the fence was. It ran 6 feet into what Karen thought was her backyard. That strip of land she'd been using for her garden. Where she'd put her shed last summer. Where she parked her car every single day. It was mine. All of it. Had been since 1960. The fence wasn't on the property line. It was 6 feet inside my property. I'd put it there on purpose years ago because I didn't need that extra space and didn't want to maintain it. I'd let her use it. Never said anything. But she didn't know that. I made 3 phone calls. First to my lawyer. Second to a fence company. Third to the county clerk's office. Then I waited. At 4 p.m., Karen came back. She wasn't alone this time. She had 2 people with her. Both wearing polo shirts that said, Greenview HOA Security. She knocked on my door. Hard. I opened it. "We need to talk about your illegal fence," she said. I smiled. Funny. I was about to say the same thing about your shed. Her face went blank for a second. "What shed?" "The one in my backyard." I stepped onto my porch and closed the door behind me. "The one you built without my permission. On my land." One of the HOA security guys laughed. "Lady, this guy's lost it." Karen shook her head. "That shed is on my property. 20 feet from my back door. Actually, it's 4 feet from your back door. And 10 feet onto my land." I pulled out my phone and showed her the survey map. "See this line? That's the real boundary. Everything on this side is mine." She barely looked at it. That's fake. You made that up. County records. Filed in 1960. Updated in 1982. Want me to call the county clerk? She's expecting your call actually. Karen's face went red. You're lying. I've lived here for 8 years. I've used that space the whole time. That makes it mine. Adverse possession. Adverse possession requires 15 years in this state. You're 7 years short. I leaned against my door frame. And it requires that the use be hostile and without permission. I gave you permission. Verbally. Never put it in writing, but I allowed it. Prove it. Don't need to. The survey proves the land is mine. You need to prove you have a right to use it. Good luck with that. One of the security guys stepped forward. Sir, we're going to need you to come with us to discuss this with the HOA board. I looked at him. Really looked at him. He was maybe 22. Skinny. Polo shirt 2 sizes too big. What's your name? I asked. That's not important. It is if you're trying to enforce HOA rules. See, HOA security has to be licensed in this state. Bonded and insured. You got a license number I can verify? He looked at Karen. She looked away. That's what I thought. I turned to the other guy. Same age. Same nervous look. Let me guess. She's paying you $20 an hour to stand here and look official? Neither of them answered. Karen grabbed my survey map right out of my hand. This doesn't mean anything. The HOA easement overrides property lines. It's for community access. Show me the easement. I already did. No, you showed me a piece of paper you printed. Show me the recorded easement. The one filed with the county. The one with a legal description and a notary seal. She didn't move. You can't. Because it doesn't exist. I took my map back. There is no HOA. There is no easement. There's just you, making things up because you want a shortcut to the park. I filed the paperwork. You filed nothing. I already checked. The county has no record of any HOA formation for this neighborhood. No articles. No bylaws. No registered agent. Nothing. Her hands were shaking now. She turned to her security guys. Arrest him for trespassing. They both took a step back. We're not cops, one of them muttered. Then call the real cops. Karen was screaming now. This man is threatening me. He's trying to steal my land. I pulled out my phone. Want me to call them? I've got the non-emergency number right here. Yes. Call them. So I did. The dispatcher answered on the second ring. County police, what's your emergency? No emergency. I need an officer for a property dispute. My neighbor damaged my fence and is now claiming she has an easement. I have survey documents showing the land is mine. Address? I gave it to her. Officer will be there in 15 minutes. I hung up and looked at Karen. She was smiling again. That same confident smile from this morning. You just made a big mistake, she said. 8:30 a.m. The cop arrived in 12 minutes. Not 15. He pulled up in a standard patrol car, got out slow, looked at all of us standing in my driveway. Who called? He asked. I did. I stepped forward. Karen jumped in front of me. Officer, thank God you're here. This man is harassing me. He's claiming he owns my backyard. He's threatening to tear down my shed. The cop looked tired. Like he'd dealt with this kind of thing 100 times. And you are? Karen Westfield. I live next door. I'm also the president of the Greenview HOA. There is no HOA, I said quietly. The cop held up his hand. One at a time. Let me see some ID. Both of you. We handed over our licenses. He looked at them, looked at the addresses, then looked at the house numbers. All right. What's the actual issue here? I showed him the broken fence first. Then the survey map. Then the county records on my phone. That fence she destroyed this morning. It was on my property. And that strip of land she's been using. Also mine. I'm not trying to take her yard. I'm trying to protect mine. Karen shoved her fake HOA document at him. He's blocking community access. This is a shared easement. The cop read it for maybe 5 seconds. Then he handed it back to her. Ma'am, this isn't a legal document. This is something you typed up yourself. It's official HOA business. There's no notary seal. No county filing number. No legal description of the easement location. He looked at her security guys. And who are you two? They both started talking at once. The cop cut them off. Are you licensed security in this state? Silence. That's what I thought. You need to leave. Now. They were gone in 30 seconds. Just walked away. Didn't even look back at Karen. She was alone now. And I could see panic starting to show on her face. Officer, I've lived here for 8 years. I've maintained that land. I planted flowers there. I built a shed. That makes it legally mine. The cop looked at me. Is that true? She been using it that long? Yes, sir. I let her. Never had a problem with it until today when she destroyed my fence. You gave her permission? Verbal permission. Yes. He turned back to Karen. Then it's not adverse possession. It's permission. Which he can revoke any time. Karen's voice went high and sharp. He can't just take back permission. I have rights. You have the right to use your own property. Not his. The cop handed me back my documents. Sir, do you want to press charges for property damage? I looked at Karen. Really looked at her. She was shaking. Eyes wet. Fists clenched. Not yet, I said. I want to give her a chance to make this right. Don't do me any favors, Karen spat. It's not a favor. It's an offer. I pulled out a folded paper from my back pocket. I'm buying the disputed land. All 6 feet of it. From myself. Officially. I'm having it surveyed, marked, and fenced. Professional survey. Professional fence. Starting tomorrow. You can't. I can. It's my land. But here's the thing, Karen. Your shed is on that land. Your garden is on that land. Your parking spot is on that land. She went completely still. So you have 2 choices. 1, you move everything off my property within 30 days. Shed, plants, everything. Or 2. I unfolded the paper. You buy that strip from me. Fair market value. $4,200. I'll sell it to you. We'll make it legal. Split the survey costs. You keep your shed right where it is. The cop raised his eyebrows. That's more than fair. Karen looked at the paper like it was poison. I'm not paying you a single cent. Then you're moving your shed. I'll sue you. For what? Owning my own land. I shook my head. You'll lose. And you'll pay my legal fees when you do. She grabbed the paper out of my hand and ripped it in half. Then in quarters. Then threw the pieces at my feet. I'm not moving anything. And you're not touching my property. The cop sighed. Ma'am, it's not your property. It is now. She pulled out her phone. I'm calling my lawyer. A real lawyer. Not some fake surveyor with fake maps. I didn't say anything. Just waited. She dialed. Put the phone to her ear. Started talking fast. David? It's Karen. I need you right now. My neighbor is trying to steal my land and the police are helping him. She walked away, still talking. Went back to her house. Slammed the door. The cop looked at me. You really gonna fence that land? Surveyors coming at 8 a.m. tomorrow. He nodded slowly. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. You know her husband's a judge, right?